Word TV show, two waiting phone shows for. Huh?
I don't know.
Please explain, Kenny. As we're coming on, weird TV show, two waiting. Oh no. Well, anyway, we're glad you're here because man, we got a doozy. How did everybody feel going into work? Well, I don't know. Any of y'all went to work. I didn't go to work. JT, you had to go to work after the Alabama game.
I
Did you get
did.
a? So did you walk into your
Well, I mean, I work right
virtual
here,
meeting? You work into your virtual meeting?
and everybody I work with is on the West Coast. They don't care.
Okay. Well, we're glad you're here. Thank you guys for jumping in and being a part of this. We're gonna have a small recap of what happened in the first round of the playoffs. Uh, and it was a good game. I was able to go and watch it in person, so I got a little perspective about their stadium and their fans. Maybe we can hit on that a little bit. It's a little unique and different. And of course, winning the game is always important. So, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the likes, go ahead and share out on X or Facebook or IG or TikTok or whatever you're on that we're live. And we're gonna show a few clips during the game and be able to talk about it and get ourselves ready to get into an Alabama IU uh, football game. So glad you're here. We're gonna go ahead and get this party started right now. All right, so we're officially in now. The Teague's Take podcast is happening. We appreciate you guys. It's a great Monday. We're heading into Christmas. I'll go ahead and say Merry Christmas to everyone right now. We want to get the opportunity to say that to you later on or during the week. We just appreciate all the support that you guys give us every single day. Again, hit the subscribe button, send the likes, tell everybody we're here. We're getting ready to go. We're about to have a good one. Okay. Our main purpose tonight is really just to talk about the previous game and maybe JT can spit some data on you about IU and people trying to figure out are they really competitive? Are we really, what this game should look like? I'm kind of interested to hear what JT has to say about that. We will talk about the wide receiver stuff just a little bit later, but I kind of got something that I want to talk about on this quick run out, and I think that you guys may think I'm a little bit crazy. Okay, and before I get too deep in this, y'all need to bear with me. And before y'all start losing your mind, let me say this clearly. Okay, I'm not saying that anything was fixed in this football game, particularly when we start talking about certain plays you don't really see happening. It's a block punt that I really want to talk about. Okay, so I'm not saying it was fixed. I am saying that it was pretty convenient. Okay, so before we pop on this tape, this is what I'm going to show you guys. The guard lets the man go. The backup didn't even block him. The punter drops the ball. So someone's got to explain this to me. So JT, pop this clip on for me real fast, please. Okay. So we're going to go from this wide angle first. And I need for y'all to look at the right guard. Okay. He's blocking our defensive tackle. All right. So let's talk about this one first. Hit play. He kind of gives the guy the little two-handed piece like we normally think, but he lets him go. Okay, he lets him go. Maybe you say that's normal, but JT, when we do that and you start looking back, you already know that you beat. How many times have we said that already? Okay, there's a guy up there to the left of him. For some reason, JT, we have a little wall back there in our punts too. Aren't they responsible for the guys that come up the middle? If someone misses or whatever. So he doesn't even block him. He just mysteriously runs out there to the right. Okay. Third piece, as I said in the show. So now our punter blocks the ball. So look at the guard. He's standing there looking. What's going on? The other guy doesn't even block. The punter drops the ball. Okay, go to the back angle real quick. Back angle, real quick. Perfect snap, right? They take 2 steps. They start to release the ball and they kick it. Man, he just throws the ball on the ground. Don't even kick it. Come on, man. Come on, come on, come on. I don't know. Again, I'm not saying anything fishy about this. All right, so just bring it back to me. Now I've just showed y'all that. So let me give you a rant just for a little bit. So it's Alabama and Oklahoma. It's two blue blood teams, right? Here's what everybody's not talking about: the betting, billions in betting, and suddenly on a routine punt. This is a routine punt, everybody. Okay, we got a 2-man rush. I told you, 2 defensive linemen rushing. They decide they don't want to protect, right? The punter drops the ball and boom. Okay, like boomer, right? Block punt. The game flips, live odds. They start to go absolutely haywire. We're talking about it in the gambling world, right? And I'm supposed to believe that this just happens in the most bet on era in the history of college football. I don't think so. Here's the thing people don't want to talk about. It's the special teams, right? It's the underbelly, the soft underbelly of football. It's 5 to 8 seconds. It's the timing. It's one guy missing one assignment. You don't need a big old grand conspiracy with this. You don't need the head coach involved. All you got to do is be 1/2 step late. One. Okay. And suddenly the spread, the over, the money line, all of that changes immediately. Don't tell me, well, George and punts get blocked all the time. Well, yeah, they do. All right. They get blocked. Maybe not all the time, but they typically get blocked by bad teams. But better yet, they don't get blocked when only 2 defensive linemen are rushing, right? This they don't happen to teams that are got NFL factory type guys going in high leverage moments like this in a playoff game, unless something is off mentally, right? Structurally, or here's a key word, financially. Now let's talk about that for a second, okay? We're not just betting on winners and losers anymore. In betting, you can bet the next team to score. You can bet a special teams touchdown. You can bet will there be a blocked kick. Now that one play didn't just affect the scoreboard; it affected entire markets in under I don't know how long that took 5 6 seconds. Right, everything changed. And college kids, let's talk about that. I'm not accusing anybody. I promise you, I'm not doing that. All right. But we're living in a world where some guys have NIL deals and others are just, hey, man, they're splitting gas money still. You think that that doesn't create temptation, or that some of these players aren't vulnerable like the coaches are or like the officials have been? Come on, get serious. It doesn't mean something happened again. It just means the system is begging for people to ask questions like I am. Okay. Here's the next thing that gets me, JT. Nobody even looks surprised. They're just going on. We're already down, and all of a sudden, boom, no one panics. OU's not they're not having no chaos over there. It's just, well, Alabama blocked the punt. Now I'm standing out there, right? So maybe it's just football. But again, it's a missed assignment, right? I saw it live. I saw it live, and I promise you my reaction was like, what the hell just happened? Right? So in 2025, gambling everywhere, money flying around, margins thinner than ever. I don't think you're crazy for at least raising an eyebrow and saying, hmm, that was interesting. That's all I'm saying. That's Teague's take, and that's my run out. All right, JT, our co-host and data guy, the analytical one. Maybe I put my feelings in this kind of thing, and they say you shouldn't be putting your feelings in here because I have no interesting stuff, no factual stuff about this. That's just a run out. Where I go wrong? Am I crazy, or can I have a good debate with somebody on that?
I'm sure you could. I don't know if this is I mean, there is evidence. You look at basketball like this; it's happened many a time. And I think was it Warren Sapp? I think Warren Sapp just said something on a podcast somewhere where he was talking about, well, he was actually talking about the NFL. He was like, some guys are on vet minimum and it's $400,000 for the year, and all I got to do if I'm a multimillionaire is walk in with $100,000 in a week for you to blow an assignment, and it's that simple.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I appreciate that, and I don't know. Like I said, I'm not saying that happened. It just looks weird to me, and it's kind of easy to do. You don't need that.
Well,
So
the weirdest part to me, I'll go back to this, is not these two. It's not these two guys, because I'm thinking about our own special teams coach when he's like, "Hey, you got to count to two," and they do the whole 1,000, 1,000, and they release. So I hit play and I say 1,000, 1,000, and then everybody leaves. So those two seem fine to me. What just seems like super odd is that when he drops this ball, it's on the wrong leg. Like, he's a right-footed punter, and he drops the ball as if he's going to kick it with his left leg.
mm-hmm, right
Like
there,
that, he's a step off.
off.
And then he drops the ball and then has to pick it up. And like, oh shit, wrong leg. And then steps again to now kick it with the correct leg, which is also the right leg.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It just people say something smell fishy, man. But I know that was the turning point, right? Critical part in the game because you know what happened right after this. The next we only scored 3, but that next series, I think it was the next series. You know what happened? Their quarterback throws to a phantom receiver out there, and it goes for a pick six. There ain't even no receiver out there. You're gonna show it a little later. So great play, but I don't know. Just make me think like, really? Who he throwing the ball to? And I'm standing this, I'm like, good Lord. Okay, I guess you can miss. But anyway, that's me. That's my talking points with that. Thank you for bringing that up too, because I would have missed that. So here we go. Critical moments in the game, JT. They start off really bad. How were you feeling at the beginning?
Well,
Um,
okay, so a full disclosure, I was not watching the game live. You were at the game. I was at the Dave Chappelle show. So, uh,
that's nice.
Dave Chappelle makes you lock up your phone and take your watches off. Um,
Yeah, can't record them.
right, because he was shooting a Netflix special. And the security, the lady doing security at the front, you come in, you got your metal detector, and they give you the little bag, and they tell you take off your watch, your phone, anything that has to be charged needs to go in this bag. And so they ain't other bags and put my stuff in there. And there's a guy that's 2 guys in front of me, and he has glasses on.
Oh Lord, the
And the
new Ray
lady was
Bans.
like, "Hey, let me see those." He was like, "What?" And she was like, What you got? What you got there?" And he was like, "They're glasses." And she was like, "Yeah, obviously they're glasses, but I need to see the glasses. What you need those for?" And he was like, "I need them to see." And meanwhile, I'm like, "Oh, she's on her game today. Like, she's checking
Yeah,
for the cameras in the glasses." I was like, what a time we're in, where like people just have, like, because I was like, "Yeah, dude has glasses on. Of course, I'll just let him in." And
yeah.
she was
They,
inspecting everybody's glasses.
they still got
But
them thick frames on them.
I meant they have at the concourse, where they're selling all the foods and beer. They have a TV that has the game on it.
Oh, okay.
So as I'm standing in line, I'm watching. We were at the bar beforehand. I watched the first couple of drives, and then we get into the stadium because the show started at 7:50. So I'm in there at about 7:30, and watching a little bit more. And I think it was still 0-0 at the time. Maybe it was 7-0 at the time. Can't remember. And once the show started and I went with the openers, I kind of just tried to push the game in the back of my mind. I was like, I'm here to enjoy the show. These tickets cost a lot of money. Here to watch the show. And one of the guys gets up to go get us another round. And I had half a mind to ask him what the score was. And I decided against it because I said, in my heart, I was like, man, Bama's probably down 17-0 right now. And him telling me that they're down 17-0 is really just going to ruin this for me. So I'm not going to ask. We're just going to let it go. So when we get out of the show, and as soon as I get my phone out of the bag, I look, and there was 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Alabama's up 10, 32, 34, 24. And I'm yelling at the guys, and I was like, "Oh, they're up 10." And he was like, "Oh, we need to hurry up to the bar." So we run into the bar, and he was like, "Yeah." So when I went up there to get the beer the first time, it was 17-0. And I was like, I just knew it. I just had something just told me they were going to be down 17 points. And then the other guy said, yeah, when I went up there for the second round, they had tied it up 17-17. But I didn't say anything. And he said, I didn't want to say anything unless they were winning. And I said, well, you shouldn't have told me that, because now next time we go to an event like this and I know the game's on, if you come back and you don't tell me what the score is, now I know they're not winning, just for the fact that you said that to me. So the next day I had recorded on YouTube TV and went back and watched the whole thing as it unfolded on TV.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was very weird at the stadium, which, by the way, the kudos to the Sooner fans. They were actually I'm going to say a good group of fans. Very polite, seemed like Southern hospitality, that type of thing. Really didn't really have any issues. Maybe with just a couple people, at the end when they lost, and they probably had a little bit too much to drink, one of those kind of things. But overall, we were in a full Oklahoma section. But it was pretty much all Oklahoma people in there being the home game. I guess you don't have to split the tickets up for that first round at all. So it was super tight, though. The stadium, they almost need to blow that thing up a little bit. I think it was. I basically had to stand up the whole game. It's just sitting like I can't do this the whole game. I need a little bit of space, and there are people bigger than us sitting around there, and it didn't even matter if you had one of them chairs or not. Just people, we were packed in there. But we had pretty good people around us, some pretty realistic individuals that kind of, said when things were pretty realistic for the most part. Um, some of them started talking a little trash after they were up 17-0, like start the buses and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, oh boy, this is a long game. He don't know enough about football yet. All of a sudden, block punt, pick six, and there we go. So, pretty good key plays that you got that we need to talk about, huh, JT?
Yeah, just a couple. It's Christmas week and everybody got things to do, so we'll keep it short. So the first one I got here is the first touchdown, the 4th and 2, right? And something that I found that was interesting about this was there's a couple of things. Not too much analysis, but just enough to satiate me. First being that they send a 5-man pressure, and I feel like somebody's going the wrong direction, and I think it's the linebacker because they send.
Is he going left?
Right. We're always talking about counting numbers, right? So I got 1, 2, 3 defenders over 2, so I'm +1. And then you would think like, okay, well, I need to rotate my coverage to the trips, especially to the wide side. And he goes this way, and this guy right here, he's on a blitz, and they're not dropping anybody out. So now you've got 2 over 3. So at this point,
He wide open.
right, you've got this one wide open. And if you wait just a little bit longer, you got the corner out that's wide open. Now, he makes the right decision given given the circumstance. It's 4th down. Like, you just need to get the first, take the easy throw. And he does, but like, you got all this grass over here. Like, this could have been a touchdown either way. But something that I saw.
What was the back? What was the back at before he shifted out of the? Just curious, not that matter.
He was in pistol.
Oh, he's in pistol. So that guy must have thought maybe when he saw all 4 of them guys over there. I'm thinking of the backer. Maybe before the shift, maybe he thought I got to go left.
I don't know. It's just weird because he like moves over.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he points over there, and then he like walks back over here, and then he like I don't know.
Well, he ain't made tackle either. So.
But what I do know is so the other thing that I thought was like maybe this was designed. Maybe he is doing what he's supposed to do because there is this thing that I saw, and this is a diversity of scheme chart.
Here we go. Exclusive on Teague's Take. Okay.
So the thing to know here, this little footnote here, is a score over 10 means the defense is wildly unpredictable to the point where they are using coverages that don't even fit the standard definitions. Meaning it's not like your standard variations of 2, 3, or quarters or 1 or whatever. They're like, this is basically saying they're kind of making up stuff.
Guessing?
And they're confusing people by making up stuff. And that means they're probably like vacating areas and saying, you're not going to find the area because all this other stuff's going on. So at first, I sorted by this total diversity score and saw that Oklahoma is super high on this list. Actually, highest in FBS in diversity. And then saw that this coverage diversity is 10.01, which means one of 2 things. Either they're running a whole bunch of stuff that's unconventional and it leads to things like this, or they're busting a shit ton of coverages and nobody knows what it is.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go with the first one.
I'm going with the first one too. I think Brent Venables is a good enough coach. I mean, he's the national championship winner to just like, maybe he does a little quirky things and it's been working out for him. And right here, it did not, especially with the second effort, the poor tackling and effort by the freshman here to get into the end zone.
Yes, it does. So before you even go on to the next play, does it surprise you that he's in there making this play versus Ryan Williams? Or
at this point in the season, no, it does not.
I mean, Ryan's in there, but with something that you show a little later. But just
yeah. And actually, it's the very next play. So here we go. So this is, oh no, it's not. No, it's not. This is the defensive. This is the pick 6, and I think this is. I'm going to call it a tendency breaker because we've seen this a lot over the years from Womack. Right? They kind of like play this sticks coverage, right? Where they sit everybody at the sticks and everybody just plays flat-footed. Now, I think that this is the look they gave. This is not the scenario in which Womack calls these kind of coverages. This is usually a 3rd and long. We're sending max pressure, and we're just going to build defense. We're going to sit at the sticks, and we're just going to try to tackle it.
Yeah, what's the down distance?
The down and distance, this is 2nd and 13.
All right.
So not a scenario where you have to throw to the sticks. And I think Mateer knows that. So I think he sees this, and I think this is where your conversion routes can get you, right? This is the offensive equivalent of um, pattern matching, right? How you can blow a coverage because you thought based on these rules somebody else was going to take him, and it actually ends up being your guy. This is a conversion, which I'd actually look at the tight end, what the tight end does. But I think Mateer thinks that this is supposed to be a hitch because of how far it is, right? He's
Yep.
just like, look, this is going to be a 3-step hitch. Throw in it right now. And there's many of offensive coordinators that I've heard that say, see a hitch, throw a hitch. Just, he's off, throw it to him, pick up your yards, maybe make this guy miss, especially since there's only one guy there. You make this guy miss, and that's a touchdown.
Yep. We do it.
Post
JP
snap,
too.
receiver sees that the corner is actually working down, sitting on the hitch. So he converts this to a fade. And Mateer is like, see a hitch, throw a hitch.
I just don't know how you don't see that dude sitting right there.
Yeah, so I tried to go to the back angle because I was trying to figure out. I was like, all right,
he left
maybe
early.
he's looking at all this. He sees the safety down, right? Like right now, his vision is in that direction. And then I thought, okay, now he looks back over here, and he never actually sees. He never sees Bray leave. Then I let the clip roll. And he absolutely does.
Yes, he does.
He absolutely does. But I guess at this point, he had already made his mind. He said, okay, well, he's leaving. He's not coming. The protection is set. We're good. And maybe he says, because this guy goes out for a route, so he's not in the protection. Right? And they're saying,
throw into the blitz
1,
anyway.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna go big on big, right? And then he says, "This is that guy's mine. He's the hot player because this guy's going out for a route."
Yep, he typically throw into that.
Yep, and he lets it rip. I think
look at his technique and everything, though. Look at his footwork.
Well, yeah, because I think his footwork, he was looking. I think he saw this as his hot. He was like, this is actually the guy that I'm going to. And then he sees this guy drop out. He says, okay, so my hot read is not him anymore. It's my hitch that I got out here. And I actually legitimately think that he doesn't actually. This is one of the Mahomes no look passes. I think he's looking at 12 and he's like, I know there's a hitch out there and I'm just throwing it. And the hitch is at the sticks. So.
Yep. They missed the tackle.
Yep. Better luck next time, I guess.
Well, a lot of people were referring that, saying it looked like Antonio Langham in the Sugar Bowl, and it does, honestly. It looked just like the pass St. Matthews threw to Langham that went back for a pick six for the win. So that was 2 big plays. Tied it up.
Yeah, 17. I mean, it's nice because, right, you show all this pressure, and it's not even sim pressure. They're still only rushing 3. They're dropping 8.
Yep, the guys are running out of there. A lot of guys.
Everybody's out. You're still only rushing 3, and you just sit somebody.
You got to have the skill and the wits to want to be able to do this, because it's scary as a secondary, particularly if you got to go play deep half, because you got to get out of there at the right time. If you're Bray, he's got to get to deep half, and he's got to leave not too early, I guess, because you're giving it away. So even at this point, I don't know. I guess you got to try to figure out the cadence.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they have the indicator, and maybe I got to look at the whole film, but it's one of those. Mateer, he's one just like every other quarterback. There you go. Touch the towel, and then hands behind his back, and you see Bray leaves when those hands start to come forward again. So I think this is probably what their indicator is of like, this is when you got to get out because he's going to clap once, at least once.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a huge play, another game changer. And at that point, the stadium is dead silent from these OU fans because we're tied up. Look at the sideline over there. You're talking about sideline warning. Good Lord. The coach is still out there. What's wrong with our coaches? See, that's where the ref's supposed to be running. I don't know if you saw that part. If you remember
Yeah, I
the
did see
penalty
that.
that's a go. That's where the ref is supposed to be running. But whatever. Okay. Well, that's a great play. It's good to see. My only other point, JT,
Mm-hmm.
that I noticed in the game, if you go back and watch this game, the question I kept asking from OU side is why they stop throwing the
Throwing the
ball
ball
to
to
them
four.
yes, to Burks. We ain't have no dude. This dude was so fast. Again, he's just one of them. You like, man. I was like, we ain't got nobody to cover here, man. And then we start getting up and press and trying to do these blitzes, and I was nervous because I'm like, man, this guy, he just, he's just different. He's one of them dudes. And for some reason, they took him off the field. I don't know what happened for a while. Then it came back to him a little later, but it already broke the momentum. I saw Xavier Brown on him one time, and I was like, he was impressed. And I just watched the whole thing, and they didn't throw it to him, but he just took off and just left Xavier. I was like, man, I don't know, but whatever. Just another one of those weird things. I was just going, why are they not still throwing to this guy? But maybe it's Womack. I'll give Womack the credit that he switched it up and started doing things like that. So, all right, what you got here, brother?
So this last one here is this is the touchdown to take the lead. And what we had kind of noticed was you were asking like who was our number one receiver. Um, and this is 2nd and 10, right? Tie ball game, third quarter, and Ryan Williams is not one of the three receivers on the field. You've got three receivers and a tight end. You're an 11 personnel, and in this particular play, Ryan Williams is on the sideline.
Mhm.
Now, there's many things we can talk about as far as like offensive scheme and all that kind of stuff here. But me being a defense coordinator, I'm still always looking at the defense, whether it's our team or not. And I wanted to highlight this guy. So I was talking about how unconventional Oklahoma's defense can be, but in this case, it's very conventional. We're gonna play um, one. We're gonna play one rat here, right? We're gonna man up everybody, and these guys are gonna have the back. We're gonna have a low hole player. And if I can draw enough on here, maybe we won't. Our video won't get struck.
Dang.
Probably will anyway. But there you go. There's the coverage drawing here. All right. So if you look at everybody else, minus the guy that I highlighted, everybody else is doing a pretty good job. Actually, not pretty good, very good. So first, let's look at this guy up here at the top. Check his footwork, check his eyes, his hands.
Got his leverage on top.
Right, he's on top, and he is stuck to Jeremy Bernard. Like it's a good route by Jeremy Bernard, but no separation. Right, linebackers are kind of just zoning over. They're going to come down on this when the ball is thrown. And the reason they do this is so that they can help take away these slants, right? Because they're outside leverage here in the slot. So they got a slant coming. We're going to play curl over flat. I hope that's not the right tool, but essentially you want to work through the curl and then down to this and just make a tackle.
Running back.
But this guy right here, he kind of does all the things you tell him that you try to tell guys not to do. Okay, so he's got his eyes on his receiver right now. That's great. Then he makes his move, and his eyes are not on the receiver, they are on the quarterback. And this is a problem because since he kept his eyes on the quarterback for so long, his cushion's been eaten, his leverage has been threatened. And even at this point, he's still not looking at his receiver. He is now beat and he is still looking at Ty. And the thing that I'd be yelling at DBs the most is, why are you looking at the quarterback? Because he's not throwing the ball to you. He's throwing the ball to the guy that is the problem. Like, Latavius Brooks is the problem. You should have your eyes on him. And because he decides to turn and look at Brooks after he's already stacked him.
And look where his help is. I mean, there's two guys standing right inside of him. So
yes. Yeah, this is everything not to do. Like, don't look at the quarterback. You had outside leverage. You want to funnel him to the middle of the field because you got a low hole rat. You got a high hole safety. And you let this receiver stem you to the inside and then break you off with a little something and run straight to the corner. And again, what sometimes DBs, and I'm not saying it's him, but just like young DBs, what they fail to understand is that because they think, oh, well, I'm still in good position. This ball is going to be put on his chest and I'm going to have an opportunity for a PBU. And no, when you got corner routes and post routes, you don't throw to the receiver. You throw to grass and just let the receiver go get it. And that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Ty doesn't have to throw this ball here or here. Ty is throwing, you can see where it splashes down at. He throws it in the end zone. It's a great ball.
It is. And that's the worst feeling as a DB because you can hear the crowd or the silence of the crowd when they go, But no one will understand that except for us, those that have played defensive back, and you hear the crowd, you know the ball's coming to you.
Yeah, so Square Businessman for 4112 says he thought he had help, had deep help. He does have deep help. It's just not on that side. His deep help is in the middle of the field, which I have a hard time believing he didn't know based on his leverage. Like, he's outside because he wants the post. He has help on the post.
There he is. Maybe you need to show him so he knows who the guy is, the safety. You should see him standing back there in the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, this is this guy. There's his help.
And that's one thing we're taught, and that's one thing I try to teach our DBs. You got to understand where your help is and play to it. Yeah, you might have to chase down if he runs a deep over or something, but you still got a short hold, and the free safety can cheat a little bit. It's just right there. His eyes are bad. That's a good angle. He crosses over. Everything is just.
Yeah, and I know wide receiver coaches actually talk about like playing basketball and actually crossing over, and that's kind of what he does here. You look at his hands; it is a crossover.
Dribbling. Why did he dive anyway? What was the DB diving at?
No, I think he fell.
Just panicked.
Yeah, he panicked and then did the last thing you're not supposed to do is get beat and then look back for the ball. Like, take the
Go
PI.
get interference. Go get interference. Run it to him.
Go get him. Don't fall out of bounds, hit the pylon, and fall into the cheerleaders.
Okay, this would be rude, and I don't want you to answer. But I'm sure people would ask this. And I just have to ask it because we're on Teague's take. Do you think Ryan Williams would have caught that ball? I'm just gonna throw that in there for everybody to contemplate on. It's tricky. Last year I would have said yeah, and it would have looked just like this. Good body control. I mean, that's not easy for him because he's looking the other way. Doesn't he turn all the way around?
Mm-hmm.
He was going over the other shoulder and he had to adjust. Whirly bird. That's big time catch. Good job by the lineman too,
But yeah,
huh?
yep, they
Except
rushed forward this time, and we get a double team on one. Caden Proctor's doing a real good job over there. I mean, you got, let's see, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 4. At that point, you're just playing 707, like literally.
I know, but what we're gonna do with this running game, man.
Well, the good thing is that's not for me to figure out.
Okay. All right. So here's what I say from my deal and JT. I know he has some data points that maybe he can talk about IU a little bit before we get off here. But um, standing there or yeah, because I was standing there pretty much the whole game. Feet tired. Seemed like the mood in the beginning, although it kind of started off bad, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. I don't know how many if we had 3 or 4 3 and outs. It was disheartening, and I was like thinking, "Oh man, we can't be getting out coached that bad." But you always start to think about first 15. I didn't panic. It was just being around all the fans, and they were kind of hoopla and everybody. Yeah, Notre Dame's supposed to be in, and whatever, all this kind of crap. Still happening. But me and Consuela sat there and said, I guess they don't really realize that this is a 4 quarter game. It's still early. There's a lot. And I had confidence, as we always talk about, that typically after halftime, we do make some pretty good adjustments. DeBoer's been good with that. Womack's been good with that. So I really wasn't like that. And then when they got the block punt, I was like, here we come. That's what I really felt like. And then the pick six. So I'm like, you know. So I felt really good about it. I felt like they messed up. So I don't know if you really paid attention to the 50 Cent thing. When 50 came out to the in between the third and fourth quarter, I think most of you that follow me on Twitter at Teague Football and on IG at Teague Football, if you couldn't see it in person, so apparently 50 Cent is a big deal for the Sooners, something they listen to and all this kind of stuff. Well, when 50 broke out, you should have seen our guys in person. It was like the concert was for them. Oklahoma was over there doing their deal, and our guys were literally on the field dancing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is good or not, but I seen our guys getting hyped. And I know DeBoer ended up talking about that later because of that play or the song that he actually sang, but it was, yeah, OU went down and scored. I think Bray got pass interference. We got too aggressive, like right after that. I say too aggressive. You could just sense something. So, anyway, that was another defining moment for us, I thought, because our defense really kicked up pretty heavily um, after that. Any closing remarks for you on the game, and what do you think we got accomplished?
Um, I mean, they got up off the mat being down 17-0. So at least it's another just data point saying, hey, they didn't quit. Now, kind of it didn't, at least on TV, it didn't quite feel that way in the SEC championship game. But they don't. They still had fight him. They still believed to have 27 unanswered points is a pretty big deal.
Yes, it was. I mean, I think that's going to build some momentum into this next one. Just being able to play like that. I don't know that many people were giving us the chance to win. I think we were favored, but it just felt like
Well,
people thought we were going to
the
lose.
opening line, they were favored by 1.5. By 2 days later, they were not favored anymore.
Yeah. So
And now they're big underdogs.
yeah. So before we go, why don't you spit out some data from your little sources that you have over there? What do we need to know about IU and their?
Okay, yeah. That's why I had my phone in my hand because I was trying to find my little screenshots. I should have pulled it up on the computer, but I'd already taken screenshots. So, funnily enough, Indiana which I had sent to you weeks ago, was one of the defenses that I wanted to study uh, this off season. Right. So things that I know that I've seen from Indiana's defense at least is
Oh,
there.
hold on a second before we do that. I just saw B Jammin's thing down there. That's another one. Just seeing kind of weird, man. Field goal kicker missed 2 field goals. Just hitting left of it. I mean, he's supposed to be good, and could
Well,
have
he
heard
won.
our
He won
fans.
the Lou Groza Award. Now they both
Yeah,
were over 50. I don't know. I don't know how cold it was or anything like that. Uh,
it was cool, but he's in. I don't know. They had all the leg. He just was wide left, but
well, so that first one, at least on the TV, because we were sitting at a table, we were watching at the bar. That first one, we were all trying to remember what the rule was on because it went over the upright, or at least it looked like it went over the upright. So thanks to the commentator, we did finally. Well, actually, thanks to the commentator, the next day because I watched it the next day and I could actually hear the sound. The guy came. He said that the ball has to be 100% inside of the upright. So if any part of the ball goes over the upright, and the upright is extended, forever,
infinity.
is no good. I was like, well, that makes sense. I mean, it's a doink then, but
Right.
um, yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. Sucks to suck, I guess.
Yeah, it does, but whatever. Okay, back to Indiana. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say something on his comment about the misses.
So the defensive efficiency ratings, those are opponent adjusted possession efficiency data. All that means is they take out all the or they only use the non garbage possessions. So, if you're up 28 points and all of a sudden teams start throwing the ball around and you start getting interceptions because they're trying to do all this kind of stuff, those don't count. But as far as defensive efficiency, Indiana is third in FBS by a tick. They are 0.89. And what should make us feel a little bit better in some respect is that Oklahoma is fourth at 0.88. So Indiana's defense, as far as efficiency goes, is very similar in strength to Oklahoma's. Texas Tech and Ohio State are the only two that are better. From there, we know that Indiana runs 89% zone, 8% man. Basically, like no cover zero, no cover one. They are heavy cover three, 48%, cover two, 20%, quarters, 13%, and cover six, which is quarter, half, 8%. I'm rounding. So if anybody's listening to this back and then trying to add, I'm rounding. But other thing to note is that they blitz a lot.
Lot.
A lot. Not quite as much as Oklahoma. Oklahoma blitzes 44% of the time, but Indiana's at number 10 at 42.5% of the time. And their grade when they're blitzing is the best in the country. Um, Oklahoma was at 93 when they blitz. Indiana's at 95. And they simulate pressure a lot. Florida does it the most, but Indiana's there at 54.5%. So simulated pressure is where they're going to show pressure from one side. They might bring pressure from another side and then drop people out. So much like, let's jump back to it.
What we did.
Yes, the only difference in this clip is that we still only rush three, but they will do things like this, and they might do it from depth. I mean, we do it from depth, right? They'll end up dropping some guy out and bringing somebody in to replace. They're going to do that a lot. They're going to stunt their line 33% of the time. So a third of the plays, they're going to have some line movement, whether it's just uh, one way or the other, or uh, or they could be loops, pick stunts, whatever. They're going to try to do those. They're going to they pass blitz on about half of your passes. So like they're going to try to move people around, try to cause a little bit of confusion. But their variability is not very high, if that makes sense. So their coverage is behind them. Essentially, it seems like you kind of know what you're getting. You don't know what you're going to get up front as far as like who's going to go where. You don't know where the blitz is going to come from, but you do know that about half the time they're going to be running cover three behind it.
You got to find the windows. I got to just find the window.
Right. Got to find the window. And if they're simulating pressure, that means they're probably only going to blitz four. And as long as we don't get confused, you should be fine.
Yeah, then that's it. And I think, out of all that he said here, typically what I'm hearing is, or that my expectation would be, hey, obviously they do that to get you confused. So you should expect some mistakes, I guess, from our offense. That maybe there's some negative plays. There's a sack. There's a tackle for a loss. Getting hit in the backfield. You should expect that. But at the same time, you can expect that maybe there's a big explosive play that kind of happens because they guessed wrong or we got the right call into it at the right time. And then all of a sudden you got a 10, 15-yard run or, a long pass. Because you're seeing it. So this is the part of football that we really like is the chess master trying to know when to call it and when to get it. Very similar to what just happened with Oklahoma. Things not going so well, then all of a sudden, light clicks, player says, "Oh, I got it. I can see what's happening here." Then you just hope that this reduplicates itself a little bit. That hey, we're probably going to struggle early on until we can really find out what's happening, and then you need your quarterback to really figure it out, and you're going to need your defense to, not let it get crazy from them scoring too many points.
Yeah, and they defend the run very well. Their corners get in the run game when they are supposed to. I've actually seen their corners taking on pullers, which is
Wow.
insane. But they will box a puller, and they're not afraid to do it. They're not running away from people. And Ohio State, it seemed like for a minute there, when I was looking at that, they were trying to pick on the corners. They put a nub tight end over there, and then they pull the guard and the tackle to that nub tight end side to make a guy try to tackle that they thought couldn't, and they were wrong.
Just put the big backs in there, man. Quit messing around. This jam thing. Just put Daniel Hill in. Let's go. Bigger back.
So
Just play physical ball.
they've got some time to scheme it up.
Gotta get healthy.
They've got some time to get healthy. The Indiana's down a pass rusher. They're their best one actually. So that may benefit Alabama quite a bit too. Again, as long as these simulated pressures, they have to pick those up, right? All it takes for a sim, all it takes is a lineman to step the wrong way one time, and you've got a free rusher up the middle. And those are the ones that hurt you because those get up on you in the quarterback's face pretty quickly, and we've seen that happen to Alabama quite a few times, right? So
Yep. Well, I guess I'll close with this. I think that coach's preparation and different things. I think that we got a chance to win this game. I don't think we're not doing this Bama by 50 kind of thing. I think it's a good game. I think we got to rely on our coaches to try to figure this out, and I think that sure I think there's this air of confidence from the IU coach and all the trash he's been talking about. I just win. Um, but I think that would make it very personal amongst our coaches a little bit. Like, hey, we got to do all that we can so we don't lose to this guy in Indiana. Good thing it's a neutral site, but I think we pull it out in a close one. I'm not convinced that we're going to win the national championship yet because we can't run the ball still, but I think we can make this a competitive game. And
yeah, and I wonder what conference refs will be at this game, um, because they call the game different, right? I think that the Big Ten referees allow you to be more physical. I think they let you get away with being a lot more handsy downfield. Doing things in the maybe few more holds and things like that. Where I feel like the SEC is a bit more sporadic. Like sometimes you get games that are you can be brutally aggressive, like the Iron Bowl, and other times it's like you touch a guy and then I think the Big 12 refs don't let you touch anybody. And I think that is why you see the different styles of play across the conferences is because of what you're allowed to get away with. I think this is why you see, the Iowas and the Northwesterns and all. You don't see too much like uber spread in the Big Ten because they allow you to beat people up. And I think this is why you see the uber spread in the Big 12 because they don't allow you to beat people up.
Mhm.
And you're not going to get Big 10 refs and you're not going to get SEC refs. So you're probably either going to get Big 12 or ACC. And if you get the Big 12 refs, I think that favors our style of play a bit better.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should know who the refs are or where they're coming from by now, I would assume. But because the coaches always try to prepare for that too once they know the group.
Yeah,
But
what are their most called penalties and things like that?
Well, all right, man. Well, that's great, man. I appreciate it, JT. Hopefully, you get a couple days off of work, even off of your virtual stuff. Hopefully, they give you a little bit of time just to hang out with the babies and you know go be daddy for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm looking forward to it. We're off for a long bit. We're gonna head down to Houston in a little while, in the next couple of days or so to go see your sister and get back, spend some Christmas with you and the
Oh,
grandkids.
where's your football?
Um, like any football or
That one, yes.
that one. So we had a good time. It's kind of weird trying to do this with this backwards camera thing. I got to figure that part out. So JT and I had a opportunity to go to the Dallas Cowboys game this week, early in the year. Um, I know it has my name on it, but this is a coaching staff kind of ball that we had a tremendous game against Nolan Catholic, where I was recognized for Coach of the Week
Thank
by
you, Run the Table
Whataburger.
Sports, for the donation.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And we love to coach this stuff, and I think that's why we really enjoy this stuff. And I'm saying thank you to you, JT, for being the defense coordinator of our school, and the other coordinators and the whole coaching staff that just make it wonderful to coach at John Paul. Um, we got a lot of things that are going to be happening there and going on, and we're getting ready to jump back in the SEC and different things. So I'll take this to school, put it up in my office there as well because it does mean a lot. But it's a team effort. You need to know about our school. Hit us up, man. John Paul II High School in Plano. Don't be calling down the shirts, Texas or
Corpus Christi.
Katy, Corpus Christi, and them other things because we get that all the time. So make sure you're following the right place. You can find us at JP2 Football.
Yeah. So congratulations on Coach of the Week. I
Well,
forget which week that was. Oh, I got the schedule right here. Week 4. No,
Lord.
3. Week 3.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And again, I appreciate you. Let's get this thing rolling, man. We'll start hitting some football. So we'll be back in
Oh yeah,
another.
Keith asked if we're gonna be here next Monday. I think the answer is no.
No, we will not. That is game day. That is the first, isn't it? What day is that? 29th.
I don't know. It is
29th.
yes, it's the 29th.
That's up to you. But no, we're not going to do it. We won't be here. Catch us after the next game. We'll come do a recap there. All right. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for the donations. We really do appreciate you guys. We love you so very much. Merry Christmas to you as well. Merry Christmas to everybody in the chat. JT, let's call it a night and be out of here.